What are you doing, yoga?
Stretching.
You know, they say athletes should stretch before they run. You know, really anybody, you should stretch before you do like a strenuous activity. Really, you know, you need to stretch is when you're podcasting.
Yes.
I'm not saying we're heroes, but hey, everybody, how's it going?
All right, welcome back to Barnard Babble podcast.
Barnard Babble podcast, movie review edition.
Yes, maybe we can try not to say it at the same time.
What's that? Barnard Babble.
Back. Yep.
Okay, go ahead. 1, 2,
no, I'm not
3.
doing
Together?
This with you. No.
We're not saying at the same time?
No.
Okay,
no.
I'll say Barnard, you say Babble,
I'm
and
not
then we'll
doing
both say podcast.
I'm not doing it.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Barnard Babble podcast.
Oh, God. So embarrassed. Anyway, welcome back, everybody. It feels good to watch a movie.
What feels? Oh yeah.
It
I'm
feels
like, what
good
feels good?
to watch a good movie. You
Do
saw the thumbnail.
Do we say our names? What's your name?
My name's Erica.
Baby, they don't know who the hell you are. Ooh, has it been a minute yet? I said
My
the H word.
momentum.
I said the H word, y'all.
I don't think YouTube's gonna get you for that.
Baby, YouTube. I feel like YouTube's gonna get us for like smacking our lips. Like they'll get us. They'll get us for anything.
They're gonna get you.
That could be perceived as something else. I'm Justin. How's it going, everybody?
Yes, Justin and Erica. All right, I had a whole thing. Okay, it feels good to watch a movie.
Go on.
Like a real movie.
I agree.
Like a movie with like pacing and a
Yes.
plot.
Yeah.
And a story.
Mm-hmm.
Emotions. Feels nice.
Creed had all of that and more.
What was the more? Are we gonna get into the more?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm like, woman.
I'm like, what's the more? What is
Okay.
that?
It had black people, okay? That's the
and
more.
here's my question to everybody: is anyone talking about Creed 3?
I mean, you think because like in your circle of people talking about comic book movies because they aren't like, it's your algorithm, baby. Your algorithm is the reason why you don't see Creed.
Okay,
You're now on Twitter.
Right.
You're only on TikTok for certain things.
Yeah,
you're on
funny things.
You're on YouTube for like
Video
like
games.
lifestyle videos and video games and nerd stuff
Mm-hmm.
with the occasional real movie mixed in. Okay,
Man, Creed
Listen.
is a movie, y'all. It's
Creed
nice.
is a movie.
I mean, it's a fun action sports movie.
Listen, to your point. Hold on. To your point, we'll see what the box office is. Because maybe people aren't talking about it because no one's seeing it. We'll see. We'll see.
Well, we're recording this today, and it is Saturday, March 4th, 2023. Precisely.
The current time is
2:23 p.m.
Jesus.
Okay, welcome in. And so we're not going to have the full box office until tomorrow, Monday, or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. In my heart, I feel like no one cares.
I know what you're saying.
That's true, but in my heart, it feels like nobody cares about this movie.
Okay. I said what I said, but I kind of agree. It does kind of seem like it came out and people. I don't know if the marketing wasn't there. We're weird because we're not on. You know, we don't have like basic cable, so we're not watching. You know, regular TV and. You know, the local news and stuff like that. So to see if like people are getting Creed commercials, we have ad block on most things. So I don't know if people are getting boom, you know, a big picture of Michael B. Jordan with boxing gloves on, ready to fight for like a banner ad or something. I don't know. Like maybe there's certain ways it's getting advertised that we're not seeing. That's definitely a possibility. But to your point about YouTube stuff, which is what you mean, like you don't see people reviewing it like some of your normal reviewers. You're not seeing people say, "Hey, it's great" or "Boo, it's bad." There's nothing. It's negative or positive. The buzz is kind of muted. It seems
it's
like
just low.
I will say this: the movie release date kind of snuck up on me. Even
Yeah, exactly.
A week ago, hey, Creed comes out next week.
Yeah.
And we're fans of
the franchise.
The franchise. Baby, I
almost
called you Erica.
You can definitely call me Erica.
Imagine if I called her Erica.
It is my name.
Anyway, baby, you've seen all the Rockies, right?
No, I don't know. Oh. I know that I've seen the first one. That's for sure. We loved Rocky in my house growing up. My parents, I mean, everyone loved Rocky.
Sure. You've seen the first one.
Yep. And I probably have definitely seen the second one.
Okay.
So when does he fight Apollo? What movie is that?
When did he fight Apollo?
I've seen the first two movies.
I've seen the first movie. So when did he fight Apollo? And that's funny because he fights Apollo in the first movie.
All right, so
Holy
there's
crap,
that.
that is
Okay, so
funny.
then when does he fight? Doesn't he fight Bridget Jones?
Yeah, he fights Bridget Jones.
And
what are you talking about?
Somebody fights Bridget Jones, right?
Yeah, baby. It was a side plot in Rocky IV. Adrian, his wife, fights Bridget Jones.
Oh,
that's how Adrian dies.
Oh my God! Stop.
Yeah, she dies
Spoilers.
of a concussion. That she had a concussion, and years later it still affected her, and that's how she died because Bridget Jones took her out. Hi guys, it's Justin in the future. Just want to let you guys know that we got something wrong. Every time we said Bridget Jones, we actually meant Brigitte Nielsen. Yeah, and we say her name, I think, a few times during this review / discussion. So just put that in your mind. Every time we say Bridget Jones, we mean Brigitte Nielsen. And I'm probably still saying it wrong. But, heads up.
Okay, listen to this. I had a best friend back in the day. Her name was Adrian. As a child, my best friend's name was Adrian, okay? Any high school best friends? This was before you guys. I love you. Okay, and oh my God, her life was nothing but people going,
Yo, Adrian, get over here.
My parents did it to her all the time. And then when we would go out or whatever, and hey, yo, Adrian.
Did she grow up to be a villain?
She might have, honestly.
Look her up. And
I'm not sure.
See what state penitentiary she's incarcerated in.
I hope she's well.
Because I would have snapped.
Childhood friend, I didn't keep up with her.
I would have made a list of everybody who ever was like, "Hey, yo, Adrian." I would have made a list.
Can you imagine your name being Adrian when Rocky came out?
Sounds terrible, honestly.
God.
My name is Justin, and I don't know. Like what iconic character name is Justin? It's such a you're like a normal guy type name,
you're just a normal dude, yeah.
And I'm just trying to picture it. I'm a grown ass man now, so hopefully it's not getting on my nerves. Someone's like, "Hey, Justin," that famous character who said, "Hey, Justin."
Yeah, no,
as a child especially, that sounds terrible. Wow. So yeah, obviously Erica's a big fan of the Rocky franchise / the Creed franchise. She knows all about them. You know who?
I have seen all the Creed movies though. Goodness.
So you didn't see Rocky fight Mr. T? You ain't seen that? Holy.
No, I think I did know that, but I don't think I've ever seen it. I don't think I've ever seen it.
That was the third one. But and you don't know about Drago, the fourth one.
Yeah. Now that's the Russian guy. Is that the one that kills somebody? Doesn't he kill someone in a movie?
Oh.
Is he the one that kills Apollo?
Yeah, spoilers.
Okay.
I guess, hey, if you haven't seen the Rocky movies by now, and for some reason you want to watch them, and you're watching this review, spoilers for the Rocky franchise.
For 30-year-old movies?
Yeah,
How old are these
plus
movies?
30 plus, way longer.
I'm giving myself some credit that I was maybe a baby, but I don't know.
That means nothing.
I'm not sure when the first...
I've never seen a movie before the year I was born.
No, I just meant saying the first one is 30 years old. I have no idea how old that movie is.
It's older than that.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Could be 37, 38 years old.
It's an old movie.
I was trying to say I was 30, but I'm not.
Oh, so why are you lying to the people now, baby?
That's what I was doing.
Anyway, I wasn't even born when Rocky IV came out.
Sure,
lies.
I don't know.
And then Rocky IV was like the last good one. A lot of people say, and Rocky V was when it started to go. Granted, about the fifth movie, way downhill.
Was that the last one?
No,
in the fifth. Oh,
Rocky V is like the last of when Sylvester Stallone was making them pretty consistently.
Okay.
In between all of his other hundreds of action movies, whatever.
Yes.
And then after Rocky V, long hiatus. Then it was Rocky Balboa. I forget what year it came out, but it was a very long time.
Okay.
It was when they were bringing these classic action movies and classic 80s actors back to revamp their movies. You had what's his name? I feel like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think that's when they first brought him back for whatever Terminator movie he was in after a long time. You know, that kind of thing.
The one with Christian Bale.
He wasn't in that one.
He was not in that one. A lot of people don't. But I did enjoy. I went with my best friend. This was a best friend once we had hit high school. Best friend, okay, and we loved it. We had a really good time. Terminator Salvation was the name of the movie. Okay, and it was not good. Well, anyway, point I was trying to make is they would bring people back. They would bring the properties back, and Sylvester Stallone, he wrote and directed. I
pretty sure the majority of those Rocky movies.
Yeah, he definitely wrote that first one. It was
the first one is the big one, obviously, and I'm pretty sure that fifth one definitely was. I think they're all his. So he had a script ready, and Rocky Balboa was ready to go. It was fine. It was not bad. I haven't seen it in such a long time. I wonder how it holds up. But yeah, Rocky 6, Rocky Balboa. And then Creed. You know, I'm pretty sure Sylvester Stallone spearheaded it. You know, with I'm sure Michael B. Jordan
created. I think. Well, he created the character of like Apollo and whatever. But I think yes.
Well, sure, it was his idea, right?
To do a movie about his son
and Michael B. Jordan. You know, we're on the third film now. Solid movies. I really do enjoy them quite a bit. Now, I don't know. Okay. Now, we're gonna get into spoilers for Creed 3. Okay, y'all. We're not gonna dance around it. This will be a full spoiler review. I will say this going forward: it is a great movie, especially if you like Rockies, if you like the other Creeds. I fully recommend it.
It's a great movie.
It's a great movie. It's a great movie,
but
but if you haven't, when you say sports movie, it's like you have to like sports.
No, you don't.
It's like a great movie to have this theme around the sport.
But I think that makes a great sports movie. You don't have to like.
Sure.
Sports.
Yes.
It has an 87 on Rotten Tomatoes.
96
for just regular old folks.
For
audience scores
for regular people. Yes,
yeah,
not
87
critics.
For critics.
So it's if whether or not the box office hits, people like it. You know.
Yes.
So I fully recommend it. If you don't want to get spoiled, I do recommend seeing it. I mean, it's a boxing movie. If you don't know boxing movies, maybe it doesn't mean anything to you, but it shouldn't be that like what you know. We're not spoiling the Sixth Sense, okay?
I wanted to spoil it so bad.
Just now? There's somebody out in the world.
Spoil it so bad.
There's somebody out in the world who has not seen Sixth Sense.
Who
would maybe listen to this podcast. Who does not need it to be spoiled for them? Okay?
I've never wanted to say a sentence more in my life.
I'll say it. Haley Joel Osment was a great actor in that movie, especially for a child.
Yeah, he was great.
Anyway, so Creed, y'all. Let's get into it.
Creed 3.
Electric Boogaloo.
Okay. Directorial debut of Mr. Michael B. Jordan.
Let's talk about that for a second.
And he killed it.
I looked it up right before we started, y'all. I just want to make sure that he hadn't directed like a short film or some little indie project or anything that went under the radar. According to IMDb, so I don't know, they could be lying. He has never directed anything. This is his first movie, and he did a great job.
He really did.
A bad director can bring down a good script, and vice versa. But he did a great job. Some stuff in there was a little. I rolled my eyes a couple times with some of the decisions, directorial he made, but for the most part. Amazing.
Yeah, there were maybe 2 eye rolls. Maybe 2. And they were just a line. It was just lines, right?
Oh, it wasn't even lines. It was like a shot.
Oh, you didn't like a shot.
That's what I'm saying.
I know the shot you didn't like.
There's like a couple shots that I was like,
Some of the blocking was off. There was one shot where
I wonder if we're talking the same thing. But more so for me is that it was on the nose. You know, is that it was kind of on the nose.
Well, my hand's raised. I'd like to
Erica,
counter
go
that.
ahead.
I'd like to counter that argument.
Erica, go ahead.
Wouldn't one say that this Rocky franchise, Rocky/Creed, is on the nose? Like, isn't that kind of the whole thing?
Anyway, Erica's done talking, so moving on, class.
Is they are very much so on the nose kind of films. You know what you're gonna get. You know what you're getting into. You know, they're like, you gotta fight hard, you gotta push through. You know, that's this franchise.
I would say yes. Yeah. In that way, sure.
You know, you're gonna get you a montage. There's gonna be music. It's gonna be emotional. You know what I'm saying?
But it's the level of the montage. Sure. But yeah, listen. Are they on the nose? Yeah, but there's varying degrees of on the nose. I need to go back and watch not the first 5 because those are, but the first couple of Creed movies to see how they handle that. Because my memory of them was that there weren't that many like moments that you would roll your eyes at. Sure, there's gonna be inspirational speeches and like you got to fight through this type of stuff.
Somebody dies.
Usually, somebody dies.
Yeah.
That's the hallmark of a good boxing movie. Is that someone will
die.
Mentor,
some sort.
Somebody will get it.
Somebody passes,
and we'll get into it. But I don't know. There was a couple of lines in here that were like eye rolly. But as far as like the shot, like someone directing something, I was kind of and truly, when I say it was small. You know, by the time we get to talking about it, I may not even remember what the hell I'm talking about.
Oh, I almost want you just to mention it now.
Well, I'm trying to think. It was like when, one moment at the very end of the movie, close to the end of the movie. Sorry, not the very end, but like the final fight. Once again, if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't care, you don't care. Fully recommend it. Go watch it, then come back and listen to this.
You're not talking about during the final fight.
During the final fight.
Oh, let's save that then.
Okay, see, what the heck?
Sorry.
Lady?
I didn't think you were going to go straight for that.
Okay, fine. Oh, never mind. Everybody come back, man.
We'll save that. Movie written by Ryan Coogler and I believe Kevin Coogler?
Who's Kevin? His brother?
Keenan Coogler. I'm assuming
the
a brother.
Brothers?
Could be a cousin. Who knows, you guys? The Cooglers.
The Coogler twins?
Which no one should be surprised. He did Fruitvale Station with Michael B. Jordan.
I would never watch that movie. I would never watch it.
You've never seen it?
I never want to watch it.
I've seen it.
No. You misunderstand.
Oh.
I've had the opportunity to watch it. It's been on plenty of streaming services. It's been up and down and all around. I never want to watch it.
Oh, okay. I mean,
because the kind of movie it is.
Guess I respect it.
I get what's going on there. It's like the same reason I don't need to watch 12 Years a Slave, you know?
Oh, well, yeah, I don't need to watch 12 Years a Slave.
I get it.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
So, like, I'm living. I don't need to watch Fruitvale Station.
I understand.
Respect to you, Ryan Coogler.
Right, but it is a great film.
Yes.
And apparently 12 Years a Slave is, I don't know.
I mean, most of those kind of movies are pretty good. I still need to watch them anyway.
Yeah, I'm like, I've never seen it. But I think Ryan did a great job on the script. It's nothing groundbreaking, y'all, but it's a triumph story.
Story.
It's like an old timey, this is what the movie's about kind of tale. This is what's her name?
What's her name? Who?
What's her name?
Who?
This is why we go to movies, to feel.
Oh,
what's her name?
Nicole Kidman.
Yes, this is kind of film Nicole Kidman. They even show a scene from Creed.
Yeah, she's not
in
wrong.
that ad because it's so it is like your bread and butter of movies. But it is still very effective. Even saying that, it's still effective
because it's like, hey, hero versus villain. Underdog versus,
it's very black and white.
You know, yes. And even I will say this, in this movie, they do. That's one of the good things about this movie is that there are shades of, I would say, it's not gray entirely, but I will say that they made me feel for the antagonist in this movie more so than any movie since the first one.
Right. I agree.
Like, I can definitely say that. Well, when I say first one, I mean the first Rocky. Okay. I'm going way back.
But I know that in the Rocky movies, they're bad men, right?
They're bad men.
They paint them pretty bad. Guys that he fights.
What I'm saying is he's the best antagonist since Apollo because the rest of them are like a little too black and white. It's like, hey, Mr. T is obviously an a-hole who's like, come here, sucker.
Yeah.
I want your woman. Like, if you've seen the movie, you know. It's like, oh, you want to give it a real man? You know, it's like it was so like, oh, I wonder if he's a bad guy.
On Adrian like that?
Hitting on, he was hollering at her.
Oh wow!
Holla!
I know. Let me holler at you.
No, in Drago, he freaking killed Apollo Creed. You know,
right?
He killed him in the ring.
Right. It's frowned upon.
It's frowned upon. And granted, they've kind of, I mean, in that second movie, they kind of went and was like, hey, I'm also a human, you know, to Drago. And you know, and once again, Apollo in the first one, it was nuanced there. It was good. And in the Creed franchise, the antagonists haven't really been so like comically bad guy-ish like they were in the Rocky movies. They've been like real people. Like I'm a boxer,
just a real guy trying. They could be Adonis. They could be Adonis.
Exactly. Like if we followed it from their perspective, it could be the same thing.
Same thing.
But so in this one, they did a good job of making it personal. They made it personal, and they gave some pretty good stakes to it.
I will say, Jonathan, I mean, we all know this. Jonathan Majors, he's killing
blowing
it.
Up. He's blowing up.
He deserves it. He's a great actor. His presence is wild. I feel like it's really rare. Like there's just this always a pocket full of actors where their presence alone is almost just enough.
Yeah. Like
you ain't got to talk. You ain't got to say nothing. You're just in the shot. And that's good. And I'm captivated by your face, you know?
Yes.
And he's one of those actors.
Yeah, you see him, you're like, yay.
Yay. Yeah. And he does great. Like, you know, the first 30, 40 minutes of the film, it's setting all of it up.
Yeah.
the pacing in this movie is great. They take their time
with
developing the storyline.
Because it starts with flashbacks, and you get to see, his name is Damien. His character's name is Damien. Damien and Adonis, you see them as kids, and it's giving you little pieces of like, them growing up, and you're like, oh, how's this going to tie in? And I will say this, for the most part, that flashback, because it's like a big chunk of a flashback, and they cut it up. Like throughout the movie, you jump back and forth, and you see the flashback progress to see how to see
throughout the film
to see what happens. And I will say I enjoyed the flashback. For some reason, I wanted just a bit more from that. Not a lot more, but just, I don't know.
Maybe a bit more.
I wanted something else from it, and I don't know if I can even articulate what. Because like y'all, like we're talking about movies. We're fans of movies. We're not like critics, like reviewers. We just like talking about movies. Okay,
right?
Calm down. Listen, you type in your comment right now.
Don't
do it. Don't do it.
No, please do it.
Comment only if it's nice.
So, what's his name?
Damien. Jonathan Majors?
I just want to say Jonathan Majors, yeah.
I mean, his character, but yeah, Jonathan Majors,
Majors.
He did amazing. So, everything I've seen, okay, how about this? The first thing I know me and you definitely saw him in was Lovecraft Country. And we did not enjoy that.
He was fine.
He was fine in it. He had a presence in it, and someone saw.
Most definitely.
Yes.
Like we were like, who is this?
That's what I'm getting at. We didn't like that show, but he had a presence.
Yeah.
And I was like, who is this brother?
Yeah.
And
never seen him before.
Listen, he must have got a new agent. Something happened because he is rolling now. I'm so happy for him. Anyway.
Right. I mean, I am happy for him too. He does seem nice in like interviews and stuff, but his presence in the beginning of the film, it's almost meek, it's almost small. I noticed that they kept him fully clothed most of the movie.
You didn't
even when he was like sparring, when Creed's like
wearing sweats, come
in and you could just spar with this guy or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, they had layers on him, and I said, I see you, movie.
Yeah.
You're wanting to reveal
all of this
that's underneath him, because it is part of like his presence and the character of just like, I don't know, like animalistic, like just this, like he would almost run before he would do like a punch or something.
Yeah, I know, it was so good.
Like rev up a little bit. And there was a
way
lot of
more grunting in this
guttural movie. It's really effective. It's really effective.
But the point is, they didn't show his body until the first fight for him in the movie.
Right. They covered him up, which I thought was a really good move.
Yeah, yes.
And it also helped for you to be like, oh, this poor guy.
This poor guy's getting a shot at the big leagues.
Well, oh man, they took him in. He was just a kid, and stuff. And society, they got him. And of course, Creed's a good guy. He wants to help his friend, and then they unpeel the layers of him feeling guilty and all that. Wonderfully done, wonderfully paced.
Yes.
And since you watched the trailers, if you watch the trailers for the film, I don't trust.
What's that?
I cannot remember his name in the film. Damien. I don't trust him because I already know Damien. Whatever.
Yeah.
I just feel like he's faking. The whole time I'm watching it.
Well, it's funny because you were right.
But I was right.
You were right. So, Eric, when the trailers were out, they showing, the trailers give away the movie, but in some ways, it gives a bunch of the beats of what happens. Erica was saying, no, he's a Batman, and I'm just like, what? No, obviously he's the antagonist. He's the guy Creed is eventually going to fight for title or for whatever. But hey, it's what it is. They do kind of play you though, because the whole thing is Damien was in jail. He was in prison rather for 16 years plus 2 years tacked on for getting up to shenanigans in prison. But it's like he took the fall for Adonis when they were kids. He went to prison. He got caught because Adonis ran. You find out like, oh, okay, he ran. He got away and he didn't. So Damien feels like Adonis is living his life. He's like, you took from me what I should have had. You had what I should have had,
Right, and they did do a good job of setting up.
They did in
the beginning flashbacks.
So the flashbacks and then like the lead up to them being like cool with each other and being like, hey, I'm out, and hey, you want to go grab a bite? We should do this. We should do that. Come train at the gym, and he does. And like Erica said, you don't really see his body, yada yada. Eventually they go to this like little like party, just like just hey. upcoming fights, because now Creed is more like a mentor and a trainer. In the beginning of the movie, he had a fight. He won that fight. It was a main guy from the first movie. Forgive me, I forgot his name. Main guy from the first Creed. He beat him. He won that rematch, and he retired a champion. So now he's like a mentor and a trainer, kind of like, you know, like Rocky was towards the end of his career, especially in Rocky Balboa. Lord. Anyway, so now Creed wants to take in Damien to try to, hey, Rocky took me in, and they throw that in his face a couple times. They're like, hey, Rocky took a chance on an underdog, you know? Yeah. And so he lets him, you know, hey, I'm gonna eventually give you a fight, or I'm gonna let you train, at least be in this gym. Anyway, so they go to this party, and these two fighters that are, you know, gonna fight each other, right? One of them gets assaulted, gets his hand, I don't know, broken or something happens, something happens. And later on, the biggest twist, the biggest, you know, Pikachu what face ever is Damien hired that man. They were in prison together, and he hired him to assault the other fighter, and that's how Damien gets the opportunity to fight. Like, so you find this out kind of like retroactively, you know, like Damien is, you know, ingratiating himself into, you know, Adonis's life. He does eventually get that shot because that guy got injured, got assaulted, and he wins. He becomes a world champ because, like, hey, we want to take a chance on you. Oh, the underdog story. Oh, Creed vouches for you. Let's do it. And you find out after all that he was playing, you know, him just to get that shot. He had talent, obviously, but Erica was right when she said that I don't trust him. I'm over here like, no, he's fine. Oh my God. And the scenes with him, like, after he won, I was like, I like the vibe of all of that. Like, he was like having some party on a beach or something. I'm sure it was his property, but it was some property that Creed just walked up to casually, punched out the first dude that got in his face.
Yeah.
He was like, nah, homie, back up. Creed said, brother, you know who I am? Click.
Knocked him out.
And like the interactions when it was becoming more antagonistic between Creed and Damien, ooh, I loved it. Mm-hmm. Because they had established, you know, like it was personal because he met his daughter. He was in his house. You know, they were being all cute with sign language. You don't do that. Like I felt it more, like way more than like truly any of the Rocky movies besides the first one. You know, besides the first one.
Okay.
But like, you know what I'm saying? Like even Creed 1 and Creed 2, they Creed 2 was good because, you know, because Adonis was fighting Baby Drago. He was fighting Drago's son. So that was good too. That was really good. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna lie. But this one was cool too because it was like, you know, my past. This guy was my brother growing up.
Yeah, they found a way to make it personal
yes,
again.
Yes. Anyway. So I just went off a little bit of, you know, certain scenarios and how much obviously I enjoyed parts of the film, most of the film. Is there anything you didn't really like, baby?
No.
Really?
I was like, no, not really. I mean, the movie did what it needed to do.
Maybe didn't like is too harsh. I have like one critique. Well, not one critique, but just one thing I noticed that was kind of dropped. Like, okay, so his daughter is she's deaf, right? And she goes to this school for or at least a school for deaf kids. And you know, she's a nice bright little kid, and this other girl picks on her, rips up a drawing she's drawing, and it was a good shot because she rips it up, and when she rips it up, the little girl's there and just straight punches her in the face. And I thought they were gonna address that more of like her like fighting. She just fights, and I guess that was mostly meant to be like, hey, she wants to be a fighter. Yeah. It seemed like it was set up just to be like, she wants to be a fighter. She wants to be like you, Dad. I thought there was going to be something a bit more with that.
I was fine with that.
Were you?
I don't like subplots with kids and things.
I don't either. And to say that this little girl did a good job, and maybe that's because she didn't have any speaking lines.
Oh, wow.
What do you mean, oh, wow? I mean, she had no speaking lines, so she did good.
Yeah, because she's deaf, but yeah.
I get it. Most kids are not good actors. We established this earlier with the Haley Joel Osment joke.
Anyway,
I'm saying I'm glad she didn't say a single word.
Okay.
She did a great job.
I'm glad she's deaf. That's what you're saying.
Hey, that's what you said. Listen.
No, she was really cute.
She was cute.
Very adorable.
And she was a good actress.
And she did a great job. She did do good. That did not bother me. They had an argument about it, and I thought that was effective. They talked about it a couple times in the film. Like,
you're right.
Fighting, and she was secretly looking at her dad's fights, and he started training her.
You know what? You're right. You know what?
I'm
going to go ahead and go back on that critique. That's just, I was thinking about one thing in the movie that didn't kind of line up to me, but that was the way to kind of show her that she wanted to fight, because then Adonis would come in and talk to her like, hey, you can't do this, or he would notice that she was watching his fights, and they would talk about it, and, and then he would do a little bit of training with her. Okay, I get it. I don't know. Part of me wishes that maybe it was something else then,
Well, the only thing that I was just like, was there is no like Rocky at all. There is no Rocky moment. No.
What you mean?
Let's look at his photo for a while. Let's go to his grave. Let's flashback. There was no like.
I will scratch my eyes.
Did they even play the Rocky music ever? They played Creed's music, which is similar.
I don't think there was any kind of like explicit. This was the Rocky music. I will agree to that. So I don't know why Sylvester Stallone isn't in it. I think it's for like a reason.
There is.
What's the reason?
He didn't
behind the scenes drama.
Doesn't like the producer on the film. Well, there's a lot of producers, but one of them, Irwin Winkler.
Okay.
Who I think was involved with him even with the first film, as far like producing it.
First Creed?
And the first Rocky.
Oh, damn.
So they were friends at one point.
Okay.
And I guess they had a falling out. I think Stallone sold the rights to Rocky to him a long time ago.
And so he kind of like got cut out of it.
And so now Stallone, the only money he makes off of any of this is when he's in the movie, just as an actor.
Sure.
He gets paid. But he doesn't get paid for
the other Rockies.
Like the name Rocky or whatever, like he doesn't get paid for that. Like it's his stuff. He made this character.
Like merch or any of that, you mean?
I don't know all of that. But
yeah.
I guess he don't like this man. And since
so he
this man is
refused to be
working
in
on
the
this
movie?
film, he refuses. Apparently it's nothing to do with Michael B. Jordan.
Okay.
They're still fine and everything. But Sylvester Stallone is a producer on the film. He's like one of the first producers that pops up on the credits.
I didn't notice. Okay, yeah.
Well, but all that's really interesting.
It is. I mean, it sucks that it's like drama behind the scenes. The reason why he's not in it. I was gonna say earlier, I was scratching my eye at one point, and they showed like a desk with like pictures on it. Was he not in one of those pictures?
I don't know if he was.
Rocky?
I know he was in the picture, obviously, of Apollo and him fighting when they're in Creed's house. But
not just like a sentimental moment of like,
no, there was
Rocky.
nothing like, that's his mentor, his trainer. I thought he would have been like, what would Rocky do?
It would have been really nice. I thought they were gonna do this at the end of the movie. Like at the end of the movie, I thought you were gonna see like, some old white man in the corner watching the fight, and it was gonna be Rocky.
His ghost, yeah.
No, he's dead. I don't think he's dead. Is he dead? Like canonically in the Rocky verse?
Died of cancer.
When did he die? Tell me when he died.
In Rocky 2, didn't he die?
Rocky 2 did not die.
Not Rocky 2, Creed 2.
No, sorry, Creed 2. He did not die.
Aren't they at his? Are they at his thing?
What are you talking about?
At his dad's?
Why do you think people are talking about how come Sylvester Stallone isn't in Rocky 3?
I guess he did die, but
these damn movies. How come he isn't in Creed 3?
I thought he died.
How come they didn't show the corpse?
I just knew he had
of Rocky
cancer,
Balboa.
and I thought he didn't make it.
Did he even officially have cancer?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was
also,
a big thing.
Just because he had cancer does not mean it's an automatic death sentence.
Well, I understand.
I get it's a movie and there's a theme of death in these movies.
So I guess maybe at the end of the film he was at his dad's grave because they got the baby.
Oh, I can't remember the end. I actually don't remember the end of the second movie.
Well, that's what happens. It ends with them at a grave.
Oh,
with the family.
And he was like, he died.
Well, I only watched the movie once, so I don't.
Anyway,
I don't remember who died. Okay,
what's the point we were trying to make even?
I don't know. Moving on, the cinematography in this film, I thought they did a very good job. The cinematography, there were some shots that I was like, wow.
Some colors.
I do remember this now. The first fight in the beginning. They do set up like this is how we're gonna film these shots. It was, the camera's like moving with each fighter.
You're right.
It was great.
Well, actually, yeah, that in the beginning, I kind of wanted more of that. It was like, because they would do this cool thing where they would zoom in on the face and it'd be like really intense. And you're like, it's like, oh, okay, all right, we're getting to the mind of the fighter. But in the beginning of the movie, when Adonis was fighting, once again, can't remember his name, main guy from the first movie, from the first Creed, main villain from the first Creed, quote unquote villain. Adonis kept looking at his ribs or whatever, or like his side, his stomach, whatever. But like the shots was really like quick and
very dynamic. They were great.
And it's kind of hard to explain, but it was dynamic. Is a good way to put it. It's really dynamic.
Yeah,
and
dynamic and quick. I heard somebody
I wish it was a little bit more of that.
I don't remember who it was. Somebody on YouTube talking about the anticipation for the film and the fact that it's Michael B. Jordan's first movie.
First directorial movie.
Directing movie. Yes. Obviously. Come on. Unless y'all know who Michael B. Jordan is. Anyway.
He was in Friday Night Lights, the TV show.
He was. Yes, he was. That he's a big anime fan. Yeah. And that they felt like he probably would use some of that knowledge to his advantage. Like, these are the things that he likes. And I will say, yeah, it kind of was almost like an animated, how you move with the punches. There are things like that in animation. Like if someone's kicking, you usually follow their leg, like the camera will follow their leg or whatever. Yeah. And I think he might have been doing some things like that because
that's interesting. Yeah,
it was shot.
I would like to actually hear him like talk about specific scenes or fights or moments that were inspired by maybe anime or whatever. I know he likes anime. I think there's a famous clip of him out there mispronouncing Naruto or something. Oh, it's he butchers
bad.
it.
I showed it to you.
You showed it to me.
Seen it. Yeah.
I was like, oh no, I love anime. Dragonis Ball Z.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? It was like that level of bad.
It is Naruto Shippuden. Been a fan of it for years, since I was like maybe 12, 13 years old. I've literally seen Sasuke and Naruto grow up. At the end of it, was pretty...
Yeah.
It's like, I love anime. And it's like a picture of Naruto.
To be fair, Naruto was really hard to say. It took me years.
You can't.
It took me years.
Years to train how to say it.
It took me years to untrain my brain of going Naruto or however I was saying it before.
You can't even do it anymore.
I can't do it anymore.
Good. I'm glad you can no longer butcher the word Naruto. Anyway, but is this funny to hear someone say earnestly, I love anime, and then butcher the name of the anime you're talking about? My favorite anime.
And it's bad.
Anyway. Wow.
Well, the anime community did rip him through the coals.
And he
knows it.
As they should have. He does know it?
Oh, yeah. He's talked about it.
I got to find that. Anyway, I was going to say, there's another anime called Hajime no Ippo, which is a boxing anime.
Yeah.
Do you know if he talked about that? Like, did he specifically drop that name? Oh, okay.
It's right up his alley.
If you're directing a boxing movie and you did not you're talking about how anime influenced you and you didn't look at the anime Hajime no Ippo, that's kind of weird. I would actually like to find interviews or see if he talked about that at all.
Right.
But yeah, whatever. The point is,
the
movie looked good.
The sound design also. I thought I was getting punched in that film. Like literally every punch, I was like,
punches.
Oh,
that's something. They sounded really good.
Oh my god, it was just
also our theater. I think the sound was it was really loud.
It was, but regardless of that.
But the point is, the punches had a good sound to them. I specifically thought that. I was like, damn, these are good sounding punches.
Yes, this visceral. Like contact sounds and also the grunting and all that. Wonderful. There is a scene, we're going to talk about the end of the movie. The scene at the end of the movie, they did a rom-com moment. A
rom-com moment?
Yes, I was so shocked. Where the two leads are finally coming together. Okay. They're getting their dance. It's usually a first dance in a romance film.
Okay.
And everything disappears around them. It's just them. And no one else is there in the room, even though the room is technically full of people.
Yeah.
But they are so
they're in this black void.
We are intense with our love. And it is just you and me here. They do it in almost every romantic film. And they did it in Creed 3. And why was it so effective? Talk about changing up. Because I'm sitting there in the theater and I'm like, man, another boxing movie. Okay. Hold on. What are they going to do different to shake this up? he's either gonna lose, which is, you know, they do that a lot in these films. The good guy will lose, but he's learned a valuable lesson. You know,
I didn't think he was gonna lose. Not in this one, but go on.
But there's always a chance in these kind of Rocky Creed films that the guy could lose.
I'll give you that.
Protagonist could lose. And I said, here it is. This is the moment where they're like, we doing it different in this one. This is different. Okay. It turned almost into like the ancestral realm from Wakanda. You didn't get those vibes?
Oh, sure. Yeah, because it wasn't just a black void.
It wasn't just black. No.
Yeah, it was foggy black, but then it was,
and there was some colors in the background, and things like that.
And then the colors started coming through and coming in, like a Damien would get hit up against the ring post, but it was like padded and it looked like the ring post with like when they were kids.
Yeah,
you know,
like the pillow that
the pillow, whatever. Yeah, like it. So there was some. It was easily the most creative shot in any Rocky or Creed movie.
A nice artistic choice, and the sound design in that scene was absolutely beautiful. I don't know if the choreography of the fighting. God, let's talk about that. In that end fight alone was like, I felt like I'd never really seen anything like that before, as far as like from boxing.
Sure.
And it's really just the camera work. It was the camera work, it was the environment they had put them in, where it was like, no one exists but these two fighters. You know, they are so focused.
Yeah, and then eventually they come out of that, but yeah.
They did, they come out of it.
But there isn't a whole infight.
Probably didn't like the prison bars that showed up at one point.
Okay,
that was the on the nose thing, right?
Yes, yeah. At one point, Donnie gets knocked back a little bit, and you know he hits against the ropes, but instead of ropes,
it was the Diamond guy, Diamond Damon.
Oh, I thought it was Adonis.
No, he hit the rope, and that became the prison bars.
That makes more sense, actually.
Yeah,
and then the prison bars showed up, like just rose up or dropped down, whatever, instead of ropes, because you know he was in prison for 16 years. I'm sorry, 18 years, 16 plus 2 years.
Yeah, 18
so
years.
And
I
get it.
The part that I thought was funny, and I guess could be on the nose, is when he kind of knocks him out that first time or something. Not knocks him out, but knocks him down.
And what, Donnie starts having flashbacks?
What does he have flashbacks there? But that Negro spiritual song comes on. There's a moment where he's like,
wait in the water.
It's I don't know if it's an actual Negro spiritual, but it was the vibe that I was getting from the song.
Oh wow! I wish you would have pointed it out.
He got the strength to get back up and keep fighting. You know,
yeah,
the song came on and he gets back up. Like the music swells, and there are lyrics that I felt like were very.
Well, it was showing moments. Those moments were from the other movies. I'm sure you recognize that, right?
Oh yes, him hitting the floor.
So wait, what's the problem? It was just the song choice.
It wasn't a problem, but it was just kind of like
the song choice of him being motivated. Which part was bad to you?
Well, you know how you felt like some things were on the nose or whatever, were like emotionally manipulating, I guess.
Sure, that could be
a good word. Maybe. That felt like a moment like that.
I did have another very small critique, more so than like, oh, his daughter hit somebody and they didn't do nothing with that, which they did. I fully recognize me being wrong on that, but. I wanted something more from the finale of the fight. I'm not sure what, because you had the first few rounds, and then they had that very artistic, the
rom-com moment.
Okay, I don't want to call it that.
That's
anyway,
what it was.
They had that moment, and then they both punched each other at the same time. That was probably the most anime thing in the whole movie. Was
very anime. That was very anime.
That does happen. I've seen clips and fights and whatever. People will punch each other at the same time and knock each other out sometimes.
It's amazing.
It does happen. It's not like ridiculous, but the way it was shot and the way I'm just like, all right. But they both hit each other out of like that artistic rom-com, and then they sit down and they're like, well, next round, the 12th round, final round.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, we skipped like 8 rounds. You know, I get in these kind of movies, you don't need to see every single solitary second and minute. But for me, I was surprised by that, because something else they built up, and this is the reason why I'm getting to it. That's the reason why I'm kind of critiquing a little bit. They established that Damien will target your weakness. He will target your weakness. He fought a guy early in the movie when he became champ. When Damien became champ, he fought this one guy. He knew he had like a bad bad elbow or something, bad shoulder.
Well, he kept hitting his arm, and it got worse.
No, I know, but he knew from sparring with him.
That he had a bad elbow.
He had a bad elbow.
Okay.
So he kept targeting that,
Mm-hmm.
And the lead up to him and Adonis, fighting each other, they were like doing like press conference type stuff, or just Damien talking mess like, yeah, he ain't gonna make, it's funny because in boxing years Michael B. Jordan, the character of Adonis, is old, but it's still funny hearing him say that. And this dude, he's like, he's not old. He looks freaking amazing, but in boxing years he's up there anyway. But they made a point to show this part of your hand or your fist is a little rough. You got this part of your ribs or this part of this. And, I thought during the final fight, they were going to focus more. I thought there were going to be moments of him like doing stuff. And he did do a couple of cheap things in the movie or in the fight. He did. But I thought it was going to be more of that. Like not a whole lot more, but just a shot of him like, like Donnie goes in to punch him or something, and like he puts up his elbow or something in a certain way to where he hurts his hand a little bit. He explicitly in the camera or whatever shows him targeting a body part that we know is rough. They've kind of done stuff like that in other movies where he was like obviously favoring like his side, like, oh, I'm hurting or whatnot. Yeah. But I was kind of surprised. Like it's not a big critique, but it's something small during the final moments or just the final fight. I was thinking that, oh man, this is gonna be like a puzzle of like trying to figure out how he's hurting me, and I gotta figure out how to get rid of that. Because I mean, there was a small line of Michael B. Jordan's trainer Duke saying we got to make your weaknesses your strengths. Yeah. And I guess maybe that's why they didn't harp on it, because maybe they did. They were like, for this fight, I'm good. Let's go. Which I don't know. They did such a good job of talking about how he studies his opponents and, how he analyzes what you're going to do, how Damien is going to analyze what you're going to do and what your weaknesses are and exploit that. And I thought they didn't really touch on that much. I get like the emotional aspects of their relationship and like the fight. That takes precedence over just like, hey, you had a bad knee, and I'm gonna do this thing to make your knee worse. Right. I get it. It really is a small thing, but during the fight, it is something that I thought about. And like for the most part, the movie kept me on track. But every once in a while, a little thing here or there made me go, hey,
I could see that. I was just thinking that they wanted to paint them as equals in the ring.
Sure.
Like in spite of everything that. I think, is it Damon or Damien? I felt like it's Damon. I don't know.
I thought it was Damien. Damien. Oh, this whole time, what have I been saying?
I'm not sure either. To tell you the truth, but I thought he was talking all that mess and everything, obviously, and they showed Michael B. Jordan overcoming his own weaknesses during the training montage. Yeah. And so I felt like and he even says it. Creed, like, you thought this was going to be easy. Sure. So he didn't even get to hit him. Like, he didn't even, they were so really equal
that he couldn't
really exploit
his flaws.
He was, he kept dodging.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't be able to really hit him.
That's a great point.
And all that stuff. So I was just like, I felt like they wanted you to
see. They established that.
Like, look how hard Creed has worked to make sure this guy doesn't get over on
Creed
him.
had to run and pull little mini private planes, and he had to. Yeah, you know what? You're right. He did do stuff. He had to punch a tree.
That was impressive.
He was punching a tree.
I wonder if he really did that.
Punch a tree, probably.
Well, I wonder if Michael B. Jordan really pulled that plane.
I feel like I could do that.
Okay.
I could pull that plane.
Okay.
I'm like, for some reason, him pulling that plane
that
and
not
seem that impressive.
You?
It meant nothing.
I just felt like, wow, that's probably really heavy. That's all I kept thinking.
I'm sure it's extremely heavy.
That's impressive. I bet you he did that.
Baby, give me a day. I can get ready.
Your back would go out so fast. Oh, my back. Like, the moment you start, because your form wouldn't be right, first of all.
Sure. My knees, like, just explode.
Yeah, exactly. Your skeleton's back there, and the rest of you's up.
We don't know how. Yeah. We don't know how.
He pulled a skeleton out of his body. That's what happened.
Anyway, y'all, we're going off a little bit. Like, solid movie. Very good. Like, the little two things I complained about, Erica kind of shot them both down. So, you know what? Perfect film. No complaints. I will say this. One last thing. I took some quick little dirty notes. One of the notes that I think Erica cannot refute. Mm-hmm. A lot of the commentary for the fights was kind of bad.
I didn't mind at the end. They got it right at the end.
The end. I said a lot, not all, because I did have in my notes all the commentary was bad. Mm-hmm. I changed that from all to most because the end of fight commentary was solid.
And I love that guy. He's
he was
great.
good.
Apparently, he's real. That's a real person, and that is what he does.
I figured it wasn't Bruce Buffer or the other guy. It's like 3 guys or 2 guys that I know of that do a lot of the
he had
announcing.
Dreads. I was like, this guy's cool. Who the heck is this
guy? This guy has a look.
Yeah.
Can we have a movie about this guy? Anyway,
what's his story?
Yeah, but the commentary, especially early on, there was a couple. It just felt so stilted. Like reading lines.
Yes. In the beginning, there was a girl, and it was not. She did not.
She did bad, but and she wasn't the only one. There was a couple of people just here and there.
She stood out to me.
She really did. Stephen A. Smith was in there, and this isn't the first time he's been in like a movie with like he has to pretend like I'm just Stephen A. Smith talking to a real.
He did a great job to me.
I figured. You ain't really seen him that much, right?
I've seen him, but I've never actually watched.
He's done a pretty good job,
of whatever that show is that he does. But I did enjoy. I like, and I think they do this in all the movies. I like the real world aspects of Creed, like the whole Showtime thing.
Yeah,
I thought I was like, I would totally watch this. You know, like there's a special. I would totally watch this.
Those Showtime things are amazing because like I can't tell you how many times I've never heard of both of the fighters and I'll watch a little Showtime presentation talking about, profiling both fighters and, just really distilling down what this fight is going to be, who both of them are. And, those programs are longer than the little thing that we saw in the movie.
The showcase.
But they'll make me be like, I gotta buy / find a way to watch this fight.
Yeah, find a way.
Find a way.
And they did a good job. You can tell they changed the camera techniques and whatever. It was like it was very how they would do it.
Show, yeah.
And even for that guy, his show, like how
Stephen
they
A. Yeah,
his show,
good.
All that stuff.
We're just saying like this was a very well made movie.
It's nice, especially coming off of Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Coming off of that, where there was so much going on, and another Jonathan Majors film, bless his soul. It's not you, Jonathan. It's not you.
No
one's mad at you.
It's funny because he's the best part about that movie. And
Mr. Majors.
People who don't like Ant-Man and Quantumania, whatever, Ant-Man and the Wasp, she's not even in the movie.
She's not in it.
I mean, she's in it, but she sucks. Oh my God, the movie's bad. Point is, he was great. And he's great in this movie.
Yeah.
Solid. I mean, we haven't seen that many movies this year.
I felt bad.
This is the best movie of the year. What's
lost
that?
At the end. I almost was like, I'm glad they had the moment after the fight because, like you said, you kind of get him, and you are kind of
understand his plight.
Yeah, and I was just like, well, go hug him or something. Go kiss him, Creed.
And they did. Go kiss him. They did a little handshake they established in the beginning of the movie, when they were kids, this little handshake they got. They did that. I've seen too many movies. Most of us have. When they did the handshake, I was like, all right, when are they going to do that? They did it at the end of the movie, which
you're good. I didn't think about that.
Oh my God. Very solid movie. I really want to know how they're going to continue.
That was my next question is there now a Creed 4?
I think Michael B. Jordan has already said there will be a Creed 4 already. Like before the movie even came out. I think it's already greenlit or whatever.
Okay.
Hopefully this does well so that can happen.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, final points, they're not being subtle about it. There is gonna be a Creed or something with their daughter. We didn't even mention her, Tessa Thompson. As we didn't mention this whole movie, and she's good. I mean,
she's good. Yeah, she's fine.
She's not a non-character. She has her little thing and her little, hey, I'm not in the spotlight anymore. I'm not singing. I'm behind the scenes producing, and they play with that a little bit. I mean, she's good. Tessa Thompson is good. We didn't mention her not one time. We didn't mention what's her name from the Cosby Show.
Oh, Felicia
Rashad. She's also solid.
Mama.
We didn't mention every single beat of the movie. We didn't. Go watch the movie. But they really hammer home that Adonis and whatever
his wife. I think it's like Bianca or something.
Bianca? Is her name?
I think it's Bianca.
Bianca. You know what? Let's call it that.
Okay.
Whatever Adonis and Bianca, their daughter is going to be a fighter. She's in the ring and in the movie
fighting.
Like they're setting it up for it. Yeah, play fight. No, she's in there with Drago, with Drago's son. Drago's son said, I want revenge.
Yeah.
And said, bot, and knocked the little girl out.
And then, who did I say was in one of those movies?
Who?
Oh man, I forgot her name. Blonde lady.
Oh,
Bridget Jones. Is that who?
Bridget Jones?
Yeah. And
she comes
fights
out of nowhere?
Bridget Jones, yeah.
Oh my God. She fights Bridget Jones' daughter.
Yes.
No, but seriously, they are setting it up heavy that she will be something in the future.
Sure.
Michael B. Jordan has said that, like, I want this. I'm pretty sure I've seen the words in text at least. Like, I want like a Creed universe. Like, I want this to be more than just me fighting, you know. And like, you know, he was a mentor and a trainer and a coach of this movie at various different points. I feel like Michael B. Jordan would do good at that. I can see him in that role. I can see his daughter being older, like maybe Creed 5. You know,
sure.
Like by Creed 5, that, you know, like Creed 4 comes out in 2 or 3 years. Creed 5 comes out like 2 or 3 years after that. You age this girl up. I could easily see, you know, I could easily see it. Yeah. And they can just keep it rolling, keep it going.
Yeah.
So the future for the Creed / Rocky verse, hopefully they figure out whatever's going on with behind the scenes, and Rocky could be in the next one. He doesn't need a huge part, but it would be nice to see him just tie it back in together.
Or at least more mentioned, or given some more reverence.
I will say it is. I think maybe that's like the writing and directing, maybe, or just people making this movie. They want to step away a little bit from the Rocky. I get it in some ways. They don't want it to be so tied together where he doesn't have his own identity. You know?
Sure.
I think so. Maybe that's kind of why they did that. Maybe that's even what the one producer guy was like, you know, chirping behind the scenes, going like, listen, we ain't gonna talk about you at all. We don't need you in this movie. And then it was contentious. Who knows? Yeah. I can't imagine Michael B. Jordan not wanting anything. Like, not even a phone call or nothing. Like, it would have been a cute little moment in the movie, just him calling him, and Rocky is in wherever. Rocky's in Philly, you know? Because
they're in LA.
The movie takes place in LA, yeah. So Rocky, you know, like Creed calls, you know, Rocky in Philly, and it could be a cute little moment. You see like grandkids in the back or something, and he's like, just give him like a little encouragement. I could see that. No?
Rocky had grandkids?
He had yes.
Lord, I gotta watch those movies. He had kids and they got kids.
Yes.
They're in some of these Creed films? Are his kids in the Creed movies?
Okay, anyway.
Creed 3's good, you guys,
Creed
and we
3,
really liked it. It was nice to watch a movie with scenes and actors, a plot. It was great.
Yes.
With good cinematography. There were some moments where you that weren't that great. Like as far as cinematography, blocking, that kind of stuff.
Oh, sure.
There's a scene where Tessa Thompson's ponytail is in the way of Michael B. Jordan's face when they're sitting on the bed after his mom. It bothered me but it was short, but it bothered me. Yeah. It was fine.
What?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't see that.
It was
wow. Fine. Michael B. Jordan sucks. What a fraud and a hack.
No. As far as first movie for our baby boy Michael B, man, we have grown up with this man, haven't we?
Yes,
Yes,
we have.
Listen,
have you ever seen The Wire? Guess what? He was in that. He was showing The Wire. Listen, Friday Night Lights. He was in that one superhero movie that was okay but wasn't that good.
There's even talks of him possibly,
and I'm not talking about Fantastic Four, the other one.
There's talks of him even maybe being a Superman. A kind of Superman. There are black Supermen already in the comic books and stuff. He could one of them.
Can he just be Steel?
But you know, watching this film, I was getting thoughts of, dang,
what
he
Superman?
would be a nice Superman. You know, I never really saw it when people have been saying it for a minute.
Sure.
But watching this and like the moments when he's smiling and he's like happy, I was just like, oh yeah, he could definitely be, you know, a symbol for hope. Because that's really what these Rocky movies, these Creed movies are, is they're about hope, you know?
Sure. I mean, I don't know if I completely agree.
And that's fine.
But
I mean, it could never ever happen, and I would not lose a minute of sleep, basically. Sure. I'm just, you know, talking about our baby Michael B. That's all.
Listen, as long as he doesn't make another one of those it wasn't Jack Ryan. It was some Tom Clancy movie.
Oh, you didn't like that?
I didn't really like that. He was fine.
I thought it was okay.
That was really a whatever movie. But besides that, he's had a wonderful career.
And we're looking forward to seeing more.
But y'all, thank you for listening. Let us know what your thoughts are on is Creed 3.
Oh, wow. Let us know your thoughts on Creed 3.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm sure you loved it, but if you didn't, I'd also like to know that too. Also, where do you see the future of this franchise going? Is Rocky gonna come back?
Is Amari, which is Creed's daughter, is she gonna fight Bridget Jones' daughter?
Is Jonathan Majors gonna be in the next one? And if he is, what he gonna do? Is Adonis and Creed finally gonna admit their love for each other? Oh.
Find out next time on Creed.
I'd watch that.
Thank
you guys for listening. Have a good day, everybody.
See ya.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast. If you enjoyed what you heard, check us out on Twitch at twitch.tv/Barnard Babble. That's BARNARD BABBLE.